What's up, guys? My name is Gabe and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is episode 35 of the viewer comment series, the series where you guys, the viewers, send in your comments and questions every single week. Now, of course, if you do want to be featured on the show, the call for questions is always Tuesday mornings. It's going to be on Twitter and here on my YouTube community page. There will be a post calling for your guys' comments and questions, and I will pick the best ones. Now, we had a ton of submissions this week. And in my opinion, this could possibly be the best week for questions we've ever had. So, not going to waste any more time. If you guys are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Really appreciate you guys being here. Now, let's begin. First up, from Sushi67 over on YouTube. They asked, do you think Lincoln Riley would give up play calling if asked? Like if his job was on the line. So the whole Lincoln Riley play calling situation, or discussion, I guess I should say, has been prevalent for a few years now. Now, to answer the question directly, if his job is on the line, I don't think he would, to be honest. I mean, people do stuff like that when they're desperate, so maybe he would. But Lincoln is as stubborn as they come. Hard to imagine him doing anything like that drastic. But just the discussion in general, something that Tim Prangley has said for years now, if Lincoln Riley's here and he's not calling plays, then why is he really here? Because that's why you hired him. He's the best play caller in the sport, or at least that's what his reputation was. And man, they just had a very good discussion about this on Colin Cowherd's show. He and Joel Klatt did, talking about the differences between NFL coaches and college coaches, what works, what doesn't. They gave the example of Ryan Day giving up his play calling, turning into more of a walk-around CEO type of coach, and why that allowed them to win a national title. And honestly, I don't think Lincoln Riley should give up play calling because he's a bad play caller. I think he's extremely good the vast majority of the time. Something that Jamal says over at the LAFB channel, and I think he phrases it the best. He says that Lincoln Riley gets spooked in these big moments, and spooked is the exact right word for what he does. But in general, I think he's a fantastic play caller. It's just with the day-to-day operation of a football team, the amount of time you have to game plan during the week, how clearly the defensive side needs more attention. Even if it's not his specialty, we need more help on that side. His overall game day operation leaves a lot to be desired. And the question is, can he turn the corner, still calling plays, still being this same offense-only coach? And then another side of that conversation, if he did give up play calling, do you think he's a good enough walk-around CEO type of coach to actually win? I personally don't. And with everything going on, with still getting pushed around in year 4, my faith in Lincoln Riley is nearly fully out the door. A loss to Nebraska, and it'll just be completely gone, as I'm sure it will for a lot of you. But yeah, to answer the question, I don't think he would give up play calling. But whether or not you think he should, that's a conversation I've never even entertained. But seeing the deficiencies around this team, I think it is a valid conversation to start having after this year if we don't turn things around. Next up, from M_Family7940 over on YouTube, he asked, does Chad Bowden have any input on whether a head coaching change is needed? Right now, I have more faith in him than the current coaching staff. So the interesting dynamic here, Jen Cohen did not hire Lincoln Riley. She did hire Chad Bowden. Chad is her guy. He's a part of that regime. So obviously, I'm not in Heritage Hall. I don't know what the day-to-day workings are, but just hearing how Chad Bowden has interacted with the donors, with the players, he's had to get on the team a few times about certain things that are going wrong with the program, with accountability. So he is very involved in the day-to-day with the program. So I think it's safe to say he absolutely would have a major amount of input on whether a head coaching change is needed. Now, obviously, there's so much more that goes into that. Losing your head coach means resetting the entire recruiting class, essentially, something I'm sure he does not want to do. So no idea where his head's at, but to answer the question, there's no world where he does not have input on whether a coaching change is needed and who the next head coach is going to be. Next up, from 545514, he asks, why doesn't Jayden Maiava run? And I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. There are first downs there for the taking. I will say, I think there is a misconception that Jayden Maiava is a mobile quarterback. He's not. He can play make, he can extend plays behind the line of scrimmage, but in no way is he mobile. He's not fast, he's not quick, he's kind of an awkward runner, but he can still pick you up a first down. He can still run it in if you're in a goal line situation. I mean, we don't even QB sneak him anymore. Now, pure speculation, but is Lincoln Riley just so afraid to get him injured that he just does not want him to run at all? I don't think that's what it is, but the lack of running threat, and it's something that the fans were destroying Miller Moss over last year. And Miller's offensive line wasn't even a fraction of the protection that Jayden Maiava's had this year. And Jayden's had the running lanes open. And he's been so good in every other area. Those 2 or 3 extra first downs a game that he could be picking up are huge. And it's going to bite us in the ass if he does not start running more. Next up from Pick6368, another Maiyava question. He asked, do you think Maiyava will stay another year? And if so, do you think Longstreet will transfer? So to answer the second part first, if Maiyava stays, Longstreet will transfer, right? There's no way that kid stays. He's way too talented. But do I think Maiyava will stay another year? No, I don't. He's a Lincoln Riley quarterback. He has the size. He has the arm strength. He's going to perform very well at the combine. I don't think he's a first-round talent at quarterback, but I do think you could see him go in the late first round, maybe in the second round, because quarterbacks get so overvalued, and some team is going to fall in love with those traits. So no, I don't think Jaden Maiyava is going to be back next year. And barring something unforeseen, Hassan Longstreet is going to be your starting quarterback in 2026. Next up from Big T in the morning, he says, crazy, but the most consistent performer is Ryan Sayeri. Often kickers are overlooked, but this is a freshman performing in South Bend when their own kicker was shanking left and right. Props to Ryan, he's a stud. Thank you for pointing this out. Whenever I do my instant reactions, especially after a loss, I'm so angry, I'm so wound up. It's hard for me to remember to mention the kicker, but Ryan is an absolute stud. And you're so right, ND's kicker could not make a kick to save his life, not even close in that game. And Sayeri was just booting him through like it was nothing. The rain didn't matter, the moment didn't matter. That kid's been showing up each and every week all season long. The most consistent player on the team, and so proud of him. Yeah, an absolute Trojan. Love watching him play. Having a reliable kicker is such a massive weapon. Next up from Joaquin Hines over on Twitter. He says, I believe that the next few years are the go-get-it years for USC despite how brutal next year's schedule is. How impactful do you expect the upcoming recruiting class to be in this upcoming championship window, specifically next year? Also bring back OU Bozo of the Week. Man, that is an old segment. You've been around for a while if you remember that one. Sadly, I don't think the Oklahoma people care very much about us anymore. They're kind of doing their own thing in the SEC, and with the way we keep losing, there's nothing for them to really be upset about. When we get back to beating everybody's ass, I'm sure they'll crawl back, but yeah, a little quiet on the OU front. As for the question though, I've seen a lot of people mention this, and I'm not saying you're saying it because you're not, you're just asking a question, but there's a lot of people that are saying next year is our year. Because of this recruiting class, they're all coming in and we're going to go win a national title. I don't know when people started to expect a freshman class to come in to help a team win a national title. That's not how it works. So anyone saying that, it's not true. Now, as for your statement that the next few years are the go-get-it years, you're absolutely right. Next year's schedule is insane. This freshman class, I'm sure we'll have a few contributors just like we do this year, but no, it's not going to be anything that helps to push us over the edge. In the coming years, sure, but yeah, we're going to have to be a heavy portal team this offseason, especially at the wide receiver position and especially at linebacker. Next up from Oliver's dad, aka Brent over on Twitter. He says Lynn called a light run box most of the game. Was this indicative that he did not trust our DBs in coverage? Absolutely. Yeah, he doesn't trust the defensive backs, which playing a game against Notre Dame on wet turf, even if it wasn't actively raining in the first half, the ground was still wet. Why you come out worried about the pass against a redshirt freshman quarterback like that? I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, they have Jeremiah Love. They have Price. We know what they're going to do. They don't respect us physically. They're going to challenge us. And it took us a little while to adjust. And when it did, still didn't matter. So yeah, bizarre start to the game. There's just a lot of stuff about this team and about this coaching staff that's just red flags all over the place. If you and me know what they're going to do, Brent, how the hell does USC not? Next up from John over on Twitter. He says, can you coach fire into guys? Or is it one of those things where guys either have it or they don't? It kills me to even think this, but look at Fuckla. Every week now, they step up for each other and play like their lives depend on it. No crowd, no head coach, not nearly the talent. You just answered your own question. You can absolutely coach fire into guys. And something that I noticed, I know a lot of you noticed on the sideline against the Irish, there's a shot of Christian Gray, their corner. He has this look on his face late in the game where he looks like he wants to take off somebody's head. It's pure focus, pure almost anger, but it's also pure fire, just like you talked about. And then they show our sideline. You have guys yawning. You have Lincoln Riley just looking into his play sheet. We don't have the intensity, not on the road. We're a soft team on the road. And not talking about you, John, but guys, you guys can keep making excuses. One week, it's the food poisoning. The next, it's we don't have any talent. The next week, it's that the refs are out to get us. But when you lose to Minnesota, Maryland, Michigan, Notre Dame, and Illinois, all on the road, the world isn't out to get you. You're just not that good. That's the reality of the situation. The sooner we accept that, the sooner we stop making excuses and look at this coaching staff for what it is, I think the better off everybody's going to be. John, you're 100% right about UCLA. It's gross. I hate it. But they're playing with more fire than anybody right now. and they really have nothing to play for, if we're being honest. That's a game I'm not looking forward to, especially if we get a few more losses. That Bruin team is going to be playing like their life depends on it, and we've seen it a million times. We're not going to have that same intensity. We had it in the Michigan game. We most definitely did, but then we go to South Bend and it just vanishes. Something about us playing on the road, don't understand it, but it's just not there. Next up, I saw this, and I'm not sure if it's a joke or not, but yeah, let's get James Franklin over here. Let's not. I mean, if going 9-3 and losing to all the good teams on your schedule is what you're aiming for, then sure, let's get James Franklin over here. But yeah, I'm going to assume that you're joking just because I'm going to be so very disappointed if it turns out you're not. Next up from Jacob over on YouTube, he asks, is it safe to assume Rob Ryan will be let go at the end of the season? Dude's a great personality, but our linebackers have noticeably dropped off. So no inside info on this, just with my eyes. I will be stunned if Rob Ryan is back. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He's a grown-ass man. I'm sure he doesn't care. He's doing a dreadful job. He really is. Desmond Stevens has not only not progressed, but he's regressed. This is by far the worst position group on this team, and we have Eric Gentry there. What does that say about it? So yes, I would say that it's safe to assume that he will be let go, or he'll just go somewhere else or do whatever. I don't know what's going on inside the building, but it's not working, and we absolutely need to move on at the end of this season. Next up from Anaerobic over on YouTube, they ask, what do you think Jen Cohen's mindset is like currently? Nervous, confident, wait and see? Can you break down the factors that will play into her decisions over the next year and a half? So her current mindset, she can't be thrilled. I mean, I look around USC YouTube and I'm starting to see it. There's a little bit of a decline in terms of people being into the program. And I'm telling you right now, if we lose to Nebraska, what do you think that crowd is going to be like for Northwestern on a Friday night? It's going to be bad. That'll be a bad look for the program, a bad look all around. I notice more and more that the fan base is slowly merging towards being, I wouldn't say over Lincoln Riley, but close to it. Like, he's playing a dangerous game right now because when you lose the fan base, you can't get him back. Well, I won't say can't because he could go on a miracle national title run. I'll just say it's very highly unlikely. So what'll play into her decisions? Success, fan support, all of that stuff. And look, I know we say this every single week, but it's because it's true every single week. That shows you how thin a line we're walking right now. But this Nebraska game, in terms of Lincoln Riley, the vibe around the program, the trajectory, our likely finish. Because if we lose to Nebraska, we're losing to Oregon. I think that's fair to say. We could definitely lose to Iowa. We could definitely lose to UCLA. Northwestern's playing some good ball right now. Like, we're not out of this yet, guys. We have to win this game against Nebraska. It is a must win. There's no way around it. There's no excuses. Night game, blackout, team with their back against the wall. There's a lot at play here. We're the better team. We have to win. So Jen Cohen's mindset, she's probably nervous. She's probably wait and see. Very important next few weeks for USC and Lincoln Riley. Next up from Ian over on YouTube. He says, here's a question to lighten the mood. Thank you, Ian. I am going to become a dad for the first time in April. Congratulations. I'm so excited to share my love of college football with them. What is your favorite USC memory with your dad growing up, and what made it so special? That's definitely one of the best questions I've ever gotten. My favorite USC memory with my dad growing up. I was super young, but I remember watching the Iowa Orange Bowl. Like, I don't remember the game at all. I have watched reruns, but like I don't remember it at the time, not even a little bit. But I do remember seeing the joy it brought him, how excited he was, how happy he was. But the best memory overall is being in the stadium for Stanford 2013. I mean, I went to countless games with my dad growing up, but being there for the Hidari field goal, the whole stadium chanting Coach O, that was an all-timer. Easily the best game I've ever been to. So yeah, I'd probably say that. And I will say he did a fantastic job of not forcing USC on me. Like, there's baby pictures of me with USC stuff everywhere. Helmets, blankets, pennants, all this sort of stuff going on in these pictures. But he always gave me room to grow up and find what I wanted to root for and what I wanted to like. Now, of course, with him going to USC, my grandpa teaching at USC, it was kind of ingrained in me. But he did let me walk my own path, which I think only strengthened my connection to USC overall. Next up from H. Grunter over on YouTube, he asks, why can't Lincoln Riley do the easy things? Such a simple yet fantastic question. Why can't Lincoln Riley call a QB sneak on 4th and inches? Why are we calling trick plays in the fourth quarter in the rain while we're in field goal range? Why did it take Chad Bowden coming in for him to start recruiting California? Why did he have a struggling Miller Moss throw 50 times in the rain against Washington last year against the number one pass defense in the Big Ten when their run defense was porous and our run game was fantastic? Especially in that game, we were running the ball down their throats. He does a lot of things that just don't make sense, and they're not the easy things. He makes things hard when they don't need to be. And again, like Jamal says over at LAFB, he gets spooked. And to be in year 4 of this same stuff happening over and over and over, I don't know. I can't answer that question. Why can't Lincoln Riley do the easy things? Frustrating that we're still having to talk about this, but yeah, don't have an answer for you. Next up from Dawes over on Twitter. They ask, if USC goes 8-4 this season, do you expect the #1 recruiting class to stick together? 8-4, so that means a loss to Oregon for sure, and then one of Nebraska, Iowa, UCLA, or Northwestern. I think it'll mostly stick together. I think you will lose a few guys, but you can't go any lower than 8-4 and expect it to stay together, right? Like, we finished 7-5, we finished 6-6. I mean, that's a catastrophe. No way to spin it. And yeah, I do not expect it to stick together if we get to that point. Now, in the day and age of NIL, it probably is a little bit easier to keep that class together just because of the money that's involved. But if it does go off the rails, if it looks really bad, if everyone's calling for Lincoln Riley's job, then no, it will not stick together. But at 8-4, I think we should be okay. And to finish off here from Anne Marie, one of my favorite commenters over on YouTube, she asks, here's my question for you, Gabe. What do you personally do to shift your mood? For example, for me, I'm an ocean swimmer, so that changes my state. Just wondering how you keep on keeping on. Shout out to Bob Dylan. My mom's going to love that. I'm honestly pretty simple. I hang out with my dog Jackie, who so many of you are always asking about and love. And I just watch a ton of other sports. I love soccer. I love baseball. Love hockey. So yeah, when I'm not working, when I'm not thinking about USC football, which isn't often, hanging out with my dog, watching a ton of sports, and yeah, just chilling and having a good time, I guess. Love the question, Anne-Marie. I appreciate you as always, and appreciate everybody who left a comment this week. Obviously, not the most uplifting episode, not the most exciting period of USC football. Just know that if you're watching at this point in the video especially, I really do appreciate you. And hopefully we beat Nebraska, we keep things afloat. But what I will say, if things do go off the rails, if we start losing games, don't check out. Let your voice be heard. Go and comment on all these channels. Call into Tim's call-in show. Like, whether positive or negative, in this new day and age of media, your voice matters. Your voice can be heard. So don't check out and always keep fighting on. Really appreciate you guys being here. You're all awesome. And as always, take care and fight on.